Hello everyone, we're gonna watch a video on ICE from Key Supply.
Rights nonprofit group VC Defensa says a Homeland Security
Oh, you
investigation
mean the
team
terrorist
raided the Ventura
organization?
County homes of several of its volunteers.
Okay, so it turns
Good.
out the Trump administration, they are actually still paying attention to groups they feel are getting in the way of deportation operations.
You
So
haven't been
this
paying close
particular
enough
group is
attention.
VC Defensa, and I know what some of you are thinking, why have I heard that name before?
VC Defensa
Why
is an
these words
organization
need
that
to be
operates
arrested?
and manages what they call a rapid response network designed to impede
Terrorist
federal
network.
agents and their enforcement operations.
Yeah, so you guys might remember when this happened last year, we saw this massive cannabis farm raid where Homeland Security, they were conducting a search warrant as they were trying to leave the area, rocks were being thrown at them, and individuals were arrested. And according to Bill Asaley, the Trump administration, they claimed the individuals belonged to VC Defensa.
Oh.
And some of you might remember this from last year as well, where a VC Defensa observer ended up having his vehicle ran by a federal agent.
Yeah, because
this
he was
is the
in the
first
funeral.
time in all the months that we've been doing this that the agents turned on us.
Okay, so I know that was a long intro, but I'm really trying to set this up to show you guys, it looks like the Trump administration, they are still taking aggressive action towards groups like this. So let's try and break this down and see what's going on. And if you guys can do me a big favor, make sure to please like this video. It helps out a ton, and it also helps others see the videos as well. So let's dig into it.
In the early
That's what these people do. They will cry foul when they're being terrorists.
morning hours of May 13th, the immigrant rights nonprofit group VC Defensa says a Homeland Security investigation team raided the Ventura County homes of several of its volunteers in 4 separate incidents. Seen here is footage provided by the nonprofit. VC Defensa says HSI later provided warrants for the seizure of electronic material.
Okay, so the very first thing I want to point out is HSI. If you guys are unaware, that is Homeland Security Investigation.
Yep.
And you would assume that's maybe its own component within Homeland Security, but it technically falls under ICE. A lot of people don't realize that HSI is within ICE. So it is interesting that HSI, they were the ones who were conducting these raids, according to VC Defensa.
Do this because it's our calling and we are dedicated to this.
One of those
No, it's because
was at
you
the
want
home
to
of
protect
VC Defensa
illegals.
volunteer Leo Martinez, who spoke at a press conference the following morning.
The door got kicked in, guns got pointed at me and
Great.
my mom. What surprised me though is at the end of the 2-hour ordeal is that when we saw the arrest order, it was just for my cell phone. It was my cell phone at the house. They took my mom's cell phone. They took her desktop computer.
Leo alleges the raid was part of an ongoing effort by HSI to
Arrest
intimidate
him
VC
too.
Defensa at large.
Okay, so I do want to point out, VC Defensa doesn't hide the fact that they do have this rapid response component, or this
Receive a call, respond, evidence of ICE activity. See, just openly admitting, yeah, we're trying to obstruct legal law enforcement.
component of alerting others that ICE or deportation operations are occurring. And I want to show you guys, we have
You're not the
how it
police.
works section. We receive a call or text with suspected ICE activity in our communities. Our trained team of volunteers responds within minutes, collecting evidence of ICE activity, speaking to the community, and spreading awareness of our rights. Our dispatcher sends alerts to the community, letting them know where ICE was seen. We build community with Know Your Rights trainings, political education, direct outreach, and volunteer sessions.
Hold on. So, you're telling me, oh, we don't interfere or obstruct with law enforcement, but you're literally saying, we're literally telling people where ICE is, we're literally stalking them, we're literally collecting evidence of ICE activity, you're not the police, and you're telling me you don't obstruct law enforcement? What a joke.
We build community with Know Your Rights trainings, political education, direct outreach, and volunteer sessions. Okay, so again, VC Defensa doesn't hide the fact that this is how they operate. They have that all public for you to look up. However, to the Trump administration, they definitely see things a lot different. So keep in mind, this is going to be the press conference of individuals who were arrested, and according to Bill Asaley, they are connected to VC Defensa. And again, this is all connected to that cannabis farm raid, that massive raid we saw last year.
On July 10th, law enforcement officers were executing a court-ordered search warrant at locations in Ventura County. Protesters, including members of an organization named VC Defensa, came to the site of the search warrant.
Stop this real quick.
VC Defensa is an organization that operates and manages what they call a rapid response network designed to impede federal agents and their enforcement operations. And that warrant is what you see on the camera there at the marijuana farm where the agents were attempting to leave. In one of the criminal complaints today, we are charging 2 members of VC Defensa for conspiring to impede and injure federal law enforcement officers. These 2 VC Defensa members went to the protests on July 10th in Ventura County and acted with others to assault enforcement vehicles and officers.
Okay, so I think you guys get the point. A lot of you probably saw these clips, and this is an ongoing case, by the way. So again, I'm trying to show you guys the Trump administration, they have a totally different viewpoint than what we saw on the VC Defensa website. Okay, going back to the HSI raid.
The watchdog group says it's because of their fieldwork monitoring ICE agents, as seen here in a VC Defensa video.
We're not threatening anybody. We're not doing weapons training. We're doing anything that would possibly get us into serious problems when this incident happened.
Leo has had previous interactions with federal agents, including one in October of 2025, after HSI agents say Leo hit an officer with his truck, which video from the scene later disputed. At the heart of the issue is the question of legality.
I don't give a shit. Even if you can hit their car, you're stalking them. They have a right to do that.
VC Defensa says they're careful not to break any laws while observing or following ICE agents.
Okay, so I do want to stop there. That has always been...
They're literally breaking laws by stalking people. Are you kidding me?
The most contested thing about any of these observer groups. How far is too far as legally observing federal agents? Are you breaking the law if you compromise a federal agent who's conducting maybe an observation mission and all of a sudden he's been leaked out to the public and now everybody knows about this? Is that breaking the law? Or are you breaking the law if you spot a federal agent driving down a public road and you just want to follow them from 10 feet away? This has always been the basis of division as far as whether or not you support groups like this.
But HSI and ICE...
Stalking is literally following people around unwanted. You're literally breaking the law by stalking people.
Say immigrant activists like VC Defensa impede or obstruct the work of their federal agents.
They're entitled to follow ICE, but they cannot interfere with ICE.
No, they're not entitled to
Lloyd Levinson is
stop
a professor at Loyola Law School and says the line between legal and illegal
Another
monitoring of federal agents is very thin.
They might have to be a distance from what is occurring. They're ordinarily allowed to report it, but they're not allowed to be right in the thick of it where they might interfere with the actual action.
And to take it a step further, because we're talking about the real world, we've also seen cases where a legal observer is a safe distance away, and then all of a sudden they find themselves up close on the federal agent, and we know sometimes that can end in a pretty big clash.
We reached out to Homeland Security investigations regarding this raid on Leo Martinez's house and received this statement in response. On May 13th, HSI executed several search warrants on individuals associated with an anti-ICE organization. Several members of this organization have been previously arrested for ambushing federal law enforcement and destruction of government property. Several items were seized as part of the search warrants. This remains an ongoing investigation. To protect its integrity, we're unable to provide additional details at this time.
Okay, so a few things there. Again, I don't like to imply too hard or try to guess. We don't have all of the details. But here's what we know from this statement. They are calling them an anti-ICE organization, for one. So that's how we know the stance of HSI and the Trump administration. Number two, they're referring to times where VC Defensa is being accused of assaulting federal agents and destroying property. Now, does that have to do with the cannabis farm raid? I would have to probably assume yes, because that's really the first time we've seen the Trump administration name drop VC Defensa on the main stage, Fox News on national television, and said, these guys are throwing rocks at us, they're trying to assault us, and they destroyed our vehicles. So I would have to assume they're specifically talking about that instance. But I do want to point out, when we look at the big picture here, I oftentimes refer back to 2025, and I tell...
Let me just clear that up a bit. Firstly, they're a terrorist organization. Secondly, how about we get off our fucking ass and arrest all of them?
People, you might as well forget what happened in 2025 because we have new leadership. Markwayne Mullin and really Tom Homan. They have made it very clear they're not the biggest fans of ICE or these deportation operations being in the public spotlight because you do get a lot of clashes. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. I think a lot of people just assumed, okay, that means everything is calming down. We're not going to be seeing federal surges. There's going to be a decrease in deportations. But also, many people forgot in 2025, even from Kash Patel, calling out these different groups, observer groups, where the Trump administration was claiming, no, they are crossing that line and they are trying to impede. And now here we are in 2026. It turns out the Trump administration, they are still very interested in groups like VC Defensa.
You can't deport all these people without making public.
Federal officials executed search warrants on members' homes in Ventura early Wednesday.
Well, VC Defensa is a coalition of volunteer organizations that provides resources and legal aid for communities affected by ICE raids.
They also patrol
neighborhoods to alert residents of ICE operations.
And I'm almost positive she is reading directly from the website because that's what we just read.
This is nothing more than intimidation. Plain and simple.
They're trying to strip us of our courage and our solidarity. We are not going to let them take away our rights. We're not going to let them take away the strength that we have to
fight back. No one's taking away your rights, old hag.
The Department of Homeland Security sent us a statement that read, in part, several members of this organization have been previously arrested for ambushing federal law enforcement and destruction of government property.
Okay, so that is the same statement to this news organization as well. So again, it looks like the line has been drawn, but we don't know exactly what is going on here. This could be a way bigger picture from the Trump administration as far as totally trying to take down this whole organization, not just individuals. Again, we have no idea.
That's what they want to do. They want to get these cheap illegals over here to get the jobs, to overtake their population, so they can be in power.
One of the members charged in the complaint used her vehicle to block U.S. government vehicles from leaving the location, while another member and others ambushed the vehicles by throwing rocks at them. And those images went viral. Several government vehicles were damaged, and a federal contract employee was injured as a rock went through her vehicle window, shattering the glass and striking her. And you're going to hear more about that case here shortly.
Okay, so I do want to point out, to be fair to the story, understand a lot of people actually support VC Defensa. And just to show you guys, I mean, here's a press conference / protest in support or standing in solidarity of the individuals whose homes were raided. And I know oftentimes that might shock people because when you do look at the polling and statistics, deportation operations are still in the majority category, but still understand many people support what's going on here. And I do want to make sure I am showing you guys that.
Oh my God.
We have to fight back.
A bunch of terrorist supporters
we're not going to stop until
don't want to support illegals.
We're not going to stop until every single person that is in a detention center is free.
No, bitch, you're not going to do shit. Speak English. Speak English. If he doesn't want to speak English, he can be deported. He's speaking English in America, not fucking Mexican or whatever the hell that is.
And I am sick to death of having to deal with these animals coming out here every day.
Oh, animals like you?
Okay, so let me know how you feel about this. Again, I'm simply trying to show you guys, a lot of people ended up coming out in support for VC Defensa. And I know in this video, of course, we're focusing on VC
Defensa, they love
but I do
illegals and they
think the
keep getting
bigger
the fuck
picture
out of
here
America.
is that the Trump administration, they're not afraid to take aggressive action towards groups like this. I mean, let's be honest, the last time we heard about the Trump administration wanting to possibly target these observer groups was really Operation Metro Surge. And we know ever since Operation Metro Surge, we now have totally new leadership, a new direction in how Homeland Security conducts their operations. We might see a federal surge in New York City where they have their own groups out there. But again, it is very notable that VC Defensa, they're on this radar still, and it looks like the Trump administration, they might have other groups on their radar as well. I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that if all of a sudden these...
See, this won't stop until you are aggressive, until you risk everyone that interferes, everyone that throws shit, everyone that assaults somebody. How about we get Rovino back? And this is the problem too, is Trump is so worried about, ooh, what does the left think about this? Oh, they don't like it. Well, boo-hoo. Get Rovino back. Be public about it. Be aggressive. Push them back. And stop worrying about what the fucking left thinks. Okay? We need to get all these illegals out. That's not going to happen without some public visibility. So stop being pussies, get Rovino back, and be aggressive. If you like, give a like and subscribe.